India, only 6 men out of 100 use a condom. In today's episode of Whack, I'm about to tell you some statistics about India that are as crazy, diverse and mind-boggling as Meri Jaan Hindustan. Before I tell you about India, let me tell you a little bit about you, Whack's audience. If y'all were 100 people, then 45 of you are under 24. 32 of you are under 35. 75 of you are watching from India, 4 from America, 2 from Dubai and 1 from the UK. Only 10 of you have pressed the bell icon. So can you please press that bell icon and get notifications when a new video comes out? My name is Freesia, this is Whack, and together we are going to squeeze down 138 crores 4,385 people counting into 100. We have 17% of the world's population, all living on 2.5% of the world's land, clocking in at this many people. I'm going to take this number and squeeze it down to 100 so that we can get a better understanding of who we are and where we stand. Let's keep in mind that all these numbers were taken before COVID-19. Also, I have tried to look for the best possible numbers in government as well as private surveys. And some surveys, like the India census, it's from 2011, as it happens only once every 10 years. So if India was 100 people, then despite being the second largest consumers of the internet in the world after China, only 34 people have access to it, while 37 out of 100 have smartphones. So 34 have internet, 37 have smartphones. That means that there are 3 people out there who have smartphones where they've not activated the internet. Yaar, koi to uncle ko bata do. Because we are a population of 138 crore people, we top a lot of lists. Like, we have the second most smartphone users in the world. And 97% of our internet usage, it's all on the phone. So what are all these people doing on their phones? Mostly social media. So out of 100 Indians, 24 are active on Facebook. And once again, we are at number 1. Most Facebook users in the world are Indians. 24 watch YouTube every month. 6 are on Insta and 2 have Twitter accounts. When it comes to online dating in India, out of 100 Indians who have subscribed, 17 are women. So to say that the competition is tough, that's an understatement. Perhaps that is why 74% of young Indians said that they would prefer an arranged marriage over finding someone for themselves. Are we sanskari? Yes, kinda. 66% said that they were against premarital sex. But the fact that we are dangerously lax when it comes to sex education is proven by the fact that out of 100 young men, only 6 use condoms. There are other numbers on people using contraceptives to avoid pregnancy, but we are dangerously lax when it comes to sexually transmitted diseases. A lack of a healthy discussion about sex means that it becomes even more difficult to collect data on certain subjects. Officially, out of 100 women, 2 have abortions every year. But studies have shown that 75% of abortions take place at home. So not only is this dangerous, but it's hypocrisy at work. Assam has the best and safest abortion services in government hospitals. That is why Assam is said to have the highest number of abortions in India. And experts say that it has this high number only because 90% of the abortions are surgical, and therefore data collection becomes easier. Another area where data collection could do with a lot of improvement is mental health. Out of 156 countries in the world, India ranks at 144 when it comes to the happiness index. In my own personal experience, I know how difficult it was to convince people to go and get professional help when it comes to these mental issues. Now bear in mind that I live in this relatively small bubble of well-to-do urban India. So I can't even imagine how difficult it must be for those people who are less fortunate and don't have access to proper professional services. So out of 100 adult Indians, 15 may need intervention, 14 may suffer from depression, and 1 commits suicide every year. But subjects like sex and mental illness, they've always been brushed under the carpet by our society. And until we decide to have a mature conversation about it, things won't change. Unfortunately, one of the places where young Indians get their relationship advice from is movies. So if 100 Indians went to a theatre to watch a film, 44 of them would watch a Hindi movie, 15 an English movie. Tamil and Telugu come in at 13 and the rest are all the other languages. While some movies have action, drama and romance, some are shitty. And speaking of shitty, here's a shitty segue. Out of 100 Indians, 36 have to shit in the open. Now this number, it's very controversial because our government says that out of 100, 4 don't use the toilet. Everywhere that I went on the internet, I found different numbers. So I have taken 36 because it was the most common number that I could find. I live in Bombay City, and every time that I travel in the train or I go to the beach in the morning, I see people defecating out in the open. And bear in mind, this is Bombay City. So I can't even imagine 4 being close to an accurate number. And when it comes to Bihar, 36, that just doesn't make sense. Which brings me to urban and rural India. 70 live in rural India, 30 live in the cities. 7 out of these 30 live in slums. This next fact, it really surprised me. Joint families are declining faster in rural India than in the cities. More people are moving out of their parents' homes in the villages than in the cities. I think there are a number of reasons for this. The high cost of housing in the city, as well as the fact that both parents nowadays are working, so grandparents are taking care of the grandkids. Ironically, 64 Indian men and women think that the duty of a woman is to be a good wife and a mother. And yet 81 think that men and women both are now sharing home duties. And speaking of duties, it brings us to work. Out of 100 Indians, 3 work for the government. This includes all state and central employees as well as defense personnel. Out of 100 Indians, 4 pay income tax. Now, who are these 4 people? The 3 people who work for the government, they have their tax deducted at source. So from all the non-government work that does take place here in India, only 1 out of 100 pays tax. A moment of silence for all taxpayers. Oh, and by the way, the number of people who did disclose their income at 5 crores and above was 8,600. This number, when put against the fact that in India last year 35,000 luxury vehicles were sold, means that either each of these 8,600 people bought 3 luxury cars or people are not disclosing their income. Which one of these makes more sense is for you to decide. According to me, when I sit and I think about all the politicians, CEOs, business owners, sportsmen, Bollywood, TV personalities and restaurateurs, 8,600? It feels like koi to hame topi pehna raha hai. Remember the Panama Papers? They had only 500 Indians named in it. And on the other end of the spectrum, 68 out of 100 Indians live on 150 rupees a day. This 150 rupees, it covers their food, housing and every other expense imaginable. And in rural India, 75 out of 100 live on 33 rupees a day. But paise ho ya na ho, kuch cheezein to hone hi chahiye. Like 82 have bank accounts, 66 have a TV. After a fan, the TV is the next most bought electronic item. As one of my favorite Indian stand-up comedians did point out, that if you have ever sat in an aeroplane, then you cannot be middle class. Because out of 100 Indians, only 5 have sat in a plane. 6 have passports. 2 take a train every day. 13 have cars and 70 own 2-wheelers. Another moment of silence for that one guy who pays taxes. That things are being done on a Ram Bharose basis is pretty obvious. Perhaps that's why 75 out of 100 Indians said that they pray every day, and 80 said that they believe in God. Now interestingly, this number, it's seen a 6% decline in the last 7 years. Here's the religious breakup of our country. If we do want to bring about a change, then education and exercising our democratic right is the way forward. Today, 65 out of 100 Indians are eligible to vote, and out of these 65, 67 showed up in the 2019 elections. Now this is something that gives me hope. 74 out of 100 Indians can read and write, and 52 passed their 10th standard and went on to enroll in the 11th grade. The more educated we become, the better our life and our country will be. But at the end of the day, this is India. And when we compare Kerala to Bihar, the numbers will fluctuate. If India was 100 people, then 16 would be living in Uttar Pradesh, 9 in Maharashtra, 8 in Bihar, 6 in Telangana and Kerala, and 1 in Delhi. In fact, if Uttar Pradesh was a country, then it would be the 5th most populous in the world. While researching for this topic, another thing that really surprised me was our food habits. 70 out of 100 are non-vegetarian. If we look at our male population, then 23 are anemic, 20 are thin, and 19 are obese. And if we look at our female population, then 54 are anemic, 23 are thin, and 21 are obese. As far as gender goes, this is the breakup. And with regards to age, these are our numbers. As you can see, half of our population is under the age of 35, making us one of the youngest working populations in the world. And how many Indians saw the last WAC video? This number. So if India was 100 people, then this would be the eyelash on one person. If you like this video, then please make sure that you share it with everyone. Share it on all your social media, on WhatsApp, and let everybody know about the diversity that we have in our country. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you in that comment section below as well. So make sure that you do like and subscribe and come and join the tribe. I'll catch you guys again very soon. My name is Freesia. This is WAC. Ciao. If you like this video, hit the bell icon and subscribe.